All right. Hello. I'm going to give it a second to see if anybody caught the link in the chat tango or the chat box over at starinnereyes.com. Unfortunately, I am experiencing some technical difficulties. So I do apologize. I went ahead and did some troubleshooting earlier today and some test runs, and is not it's not going with me. It's not working with me, and I do apologize. I'm not really even sure what happened. So I'm going to ask if you still have, or you can actually use this chat box over here to the right. I'm going to drop in, hey, if you're here, go ahead and say hi. Gosh, what a pain to go through this. Kind of a little. I'm gonna not let it be a buzzkill, all right? Like we're gonna just continue on as planned. So thank you so much if you did make your way over here. And if not, I am gonna be sending out a replay for everybody. So Stacy's here, Rachel's here. Thank you, ladies, for being so patient and so quick with your link or clicking that link. I do apologize. That's not okay, buddy. So we do have this. Yes, absolutely. We got this. So thank you so much for joining this webinar on Hearing Spirit Speak. I am Karen Monaco. I'm the creator of Stars in Her Eyes, a faith-focused business that supports women in unlocking their divinity, rising into their purpose, and then continuing their spiritual evolution through the use of sacred tools. Over the next 30 or so minutes, I'm going to share one of the most sacred and one of the most useful tools that I've encountered on my path. And that's how I created my exchange with the divine and how I continue to nurture that relationship, but almost more importantly, who I work with on a daily basis in terms of the divine energy that I'm with. So not only is this a great opportunity for you to get some of my favorite ways to connect with your spirit guides or the spirits that float around you, this is also the launch of the Stars in Her Eyes YouTube channel, which you can follow not anymore. So you're going to be able to follow it. You can click the link that was over on the original link that was sent out, or there's a way that you can do that just by being here on the page. So what are you going to be able to find over the next couple of months on our YouTube channel? Tutorials on how to read your own natal chart, tarot readings done for the Divine Feminine Collective. I'm going to just impart wisdom that I receive from the Ascended Masters, the goddesses, and other heavenly sources that seem to come to me quite frequently. And to be honest, because it is Stars in Her Eyes and because I just never know what I'm going to find that I have to share with you guys, I'm going to be honest, we don't even know all that this channel is going to see and host over the next couple of months. So that's a really exciting thing. I'm excited to launch it, and I do appreciate you joining. And for those of you who haven't said hi yet, go ahead and drop over into the comments that you're here, just so that I know, because I'm having to pivot a little bit with the original plan. I had this beautiful and cohesive whole thing planned with the website, but got to think on your toes. My guides are letting me know it's going to be okay. So before we dig into how to nurture this relationship with the protective energy that supports you on a daily basis, it's important for us to understand who is supporting us and protecting us on a daily basis. It's no different than when you show up at a dinner party and don't know anybody. One of the first things you do is get names as well as introduce yourself. So tonight we're going to actually connect and call on your specific guardian angel and invite them to introduce themselves to you. So while your guardian angel is always with you, you may not be awakened to their energy just yet. And actually, I wasn't attuned to my specific guardian angel until quite recently. And whether you have this kind of intimate connection with them already or you're brand new to the practice, our guardian angels absolutely love to be acknowledged and honored and celebrated. While they're always with us and supporting us, the real magic starts when we invite them to collaborate with us. So, a guardian angel is an energy that has been with you since the very moment of your birth. They come to protect us and be with us as we journey and venture through this world. Some interpretations are quite different, as with all the things, but our guardian angels are not typically someone or something that we have met within this lifetime, especially when we think about the fact that they've claimed responsibility for us at the moment of our birth. So if you happen to have someone who has passed on and you feel like their presence is with you at all times, I want you to know that that's absolutely true. They are with you. And while they're not functioning as a guardian angel, which sometimes we feel they are absolutely operating in a different role. And on that note, I could actually talk for hours on the different roles that, or the different people that are in your spiritual corner. Unfortunately, we just don't have that kind of time tonight. So the best way to get going is we're going to start with a meditation that's going to invite your guardian angel to show themselves to you. So if you are watching the live feed and you do have an understanding or you do know who your guardian angel is, go ahead and drop that in the comments before the meditation. I am just going to check in and see what else, if anybody else has joined us. So I think we're still good. We're still airing live. And so here we go. The best way to call down that guardian angel is through meditation. Courtney, hi, thank you for joining. You have missed almost nothing, just a brief introduction. So happy that you were able to make it over. Apologies about the little link disruption. So it's all good, Courtney. Welcome to the tribe. Welcome to the circle. So what we're doing is we're going to start with a meditation that calls on your guardian angel. And since we're going to be calling angelic energy to flow to us and through us, the one tip that I really want to give is to not overthink. All right. And if you're anything like me, you're probably hearing that and like, that is not a strength. I overthink everything. So just kind of resist that a little bit this evening. What you want to do is let yourself receive the words, the sensations, and anything else that arises for you while we do this visualization. And please don't feel frustrated if you feel like you get nothing from tonight's meditation. I'm actually going to be sending a recording to you tomorrow with this meditation. And I highly encourage you to sit with it a few times. Each time it's going to get easier, and every single repetition of the meditation will allow your guardian angel to be seen and heard a little bit clearer by you. And so Stacy's saying, I've always felt my guide is a male that I do not know. It has been validated a couple times that his name is Peter. Amazing. And Stacy's also working on a relationship with Mary based on a couple of the readings that she and I have done together. Wonderful. So to get going, just go ahead and sit comfortably and just close down your eyes. And then begin to inhale deeply through the nose. And as you exhale, let your lips just part and the air flows out freely and fluidly. And just stay with that pattern of inhaling through the nose and exhaling softly through the mouth. As you breathe, notice any areas of the body where your breath seems to get caught, and just spend some time working through whatever is stuck there. Just use the exhale to invite that tension out of the body. And as we break up the tension, we can move deeper into our body. And with each breath, we allow our mind, body, and our soul to soften, relax, and open. Start to envision yourself in a room that is decorated to your heart's content. Notice the color of the walls. And take in any furniture that's there. Notice any textures that are present. Tap into any sense that seemed to come to you. And any sounds that you can distinguish. Settle into this room and just allow yourself to experience the most profound level of comfort and relaxation. With this comfort, the shoulders fall away from the ears. The facial muscles relax, and you just feel this openness in your heart. In this room, you can ask for what you need and what you want and see it immediately delivered. So, either out loud or whispered quietly, just say, "My beautiful angel, I invite you in. Please come to me so I can see you and learn your name." You are so tuned in that you are completely at ease with the heavenly presence that appears just before you. You recognize this energy as that of your guardian angel. Give your angel a few moments to come into your and their most vibrant and full being before you. Go ahead and start to come back to this moment. Without censoring yourself, say the first name that comes to mind. Take a few rounds of breath and just let that name soak in. Letting it roll off the tongue. Allowing it to settle into your heart. And rest in your hands. And so when you feel ready, and if you feel called, you can go ahead and drop the name that came to you in the comments or jot it down in a journal or notebook. And I will give a moment for you guys to do kind of any collecting or just jotting down of notes that you need to do. You might want to note down any of the sounds that you heard, any of those textures or scents that came to mind while we were doing that meditation. Any kind of energetic feelings, you can just kind of jot that down and hold that close. Stacy's saying, definitely Peter. Yeah. And so, one of the things I will speak a little bit about is that it's okay to not just kind of blindly follow the first thing you get. When I sat and asked for my guardian angel to come forward, I got the name Joseph. And because I, even doing this kind of work, am still someone who kind of does a spiritual fact check, is what I call it. I said, if your name is truly Joseph, please show me that name written within 24 hours. And less than 20 minutes later, I cracked open a book that I had been reading for the past week. And the main characters were walking into the temple of, or not the temple, the church of Joseph. So it's okay for you to ask and to say, like, I'm not quite sure, this is what I got. Can you please clarify by showing me that name in writing? And if you're somebody, I know some people actually say, please show it to me in writing 3 times, or, and that doesn't go just for names, that goes for kind of any message that they've gotten. Okay. So Stacy's saying definitely Peter. If anybody else wants to share any kind of gleamings that they've gotten, go ahead and post that in the comments. And like I said, you'll be getting a recording of this tomorrow in your email. And so we'll hop in because I know we're running a little bit behind. So I am going to be giving you 3 tools that have helped me stay in contact with my guides. And so not just my guardian angel, whose name is Joseph, but also my teacher, who is Saint Germain, and all of the other angels and spirits that kind of flow around me throughout the day. And so at times it's very clear. I know specifically who those messages are coming from. I can distinguish between Joseph and Saint Germain. Other times I need to kind of give myself some time to digest the message and kind of feel my way through it. So the first tool, it will come as no surprise, and you actually got to do a little bit of it just now, is a meditation practice. And so many of us are resistant to meditation. We have this huge list of excuses and barriers that come up as to why we set this intention to meditate and then it never really happens. So to start, take that struggle out of it, make it as simple as possible. And know that there are so many different ways to meditate that there is no right way or there is no wrong way. It's really, what fits and what works for you. So you can do this traditional sitting in silence for 5 minutes to 5 hours. You could go and take a yoga class that makes you really intimately aware of how the breath and the body and the soul are connected. You could go for a walk outside, just make sure you ditch the headphones, or you can even just sink into a salt bath. So the parameters are that there are no parameters to meditation. The most important thing is that it anchors you in the present moment. So to begin with, let your meditation be about limiting some of those distractions that we experience on a daily basis. And that allows your guides to kind of break through all of the chaos and all of the stimulation and allows them to be heard. And so we can kind of think about it. If you were trying to have a conversation with somebody that was wearing earphones all the time, it would be pretty difficult to be heard and to kind of have that message come through with the clarity in which it needs to. So if you really want to enter this fluid conversation with the heavenly realms, a meditation practice is essential, in my opinion. And when we meditate, we hold the space for our guides to connect with us in their purest form. And so my suggestion is going to be, take the recording I send you tomorrow and maybe put aside just a few minutes each day where you can sit with it. And in fact, one thing that I would recommend trying out at least once is put it on right before bed and give yourself permission to drift off to sleep while listening to it. And you might even find that your guardian angel comes to you in your dreams, having invited them in a meditation. So go ahead, if you have a meditation practice already, go ahead and drop it what it is in the comments if you want. And if you don't have a meditation practice, go ahead and maybe make a, public commitment to what that meditation is going to look like going forward so that you can connect with those guides. And then we'll hop into that second one. So the second tool I use with my guides is journaling. I'm an avid writer, but I do recommend a journal for your spiritual journey. And pretty much using just one space, one book, one journal in basically every way imaginable to catch all of that sacred wisdom and all the divinity of your path. And so this kind of creates one space for all of those messages to go in and a way for you to see connections and chronicle that evolution. And so some specific ways I use my journal are I create little sync sheets, like the one I sent to those who registered for tonight, where I keep track of the echoes. And so I did grab my journal. And so a couple weeks ago, I was getting a lot of whale messages, and then I pulled a whale card. And so I created a little sync sheet, and I've been journaling and writing about any time that the whale comes up across my news feed, which is where it has been. I've seen some license plates with whales on them with really interesting bumper stickers that felt like signs and messages from my guides. So you can create little sync sheets and get creative about it. I love to create. I journal the wishes of my heart and what I'm looking to manifest in my life. And in moments that feel quite serendipitous, I find those wishes and manifestations have come to fruition with a little nudge from my journal. And I actually had this moment earlier today where this happened. I flipped randomly to a previous entry from back in April, and what I had written, I actually experienced for the first time this past weekend. And so, of course, then I, the journal nerd of me, had to journal the date that it was manifested and, offer up some gratitude to my guides. And so speaking of gratitude, I keep all of my gratitudes in this journal, where sometimes I'll make them in list form. Other times I'll doodle little pictures. I have been known to paste or, print out some photos of people or of experiences that I'm grateful for and put them in my journal. Or you could even write one devoted entry to someone or something that you've been blessed with. And it's a good gratitude up level. It's going to really make you grateful for what you have. Other ways that I use it, I've written letters to myself. So I've written love notes or a note to self that's deeper than the Note to Self by Milk. It's like, note to self, you're killing your path, like you're doing awesome, keep going. Be still, listen to the echoes of your guides, where I just kind of journal out everything that I'm hearing that I want to remember in any given moment. I've written letters to my guides. I've written letters to people who have passed on, and also to the higher selves of people that I'm trying to break through to. I actually use my journal when I attend webinars and workshops just like this that have relevance to my spiritual path. And that way, when I look through, I kind of see where I started and then what I've learned and how I've implemented it. And it's just a beautiful way to chronicle it. And then I also put my personal tarot readings in there and any messages that I channel from other sources. So example, like this is the first entry I did a tarot reading for myself to start that journal off. And so as you can see, with it all going in one place, it's this spiritual scrapbook, and that you can just kind of play with. And when it comes to the guides, this is just a beautiful way to collect your memories of them. to communicate openly, watch as they create magic. And personally, I've also found that this is a good way to process what you are experiencing. And this is especially effective if you don't quite have the open minded tribe that you need to in order to call somebody up and say, these are the messages I'm getting. Like, I just need to process. And so that third and final one will also not come as a surprise. It's using the tarot and the oracle. I have an obvious and very serious adoration for using tarot and oracle along my spiritual path. It's something to give a try if you haven't already. And I know we have some professional readers that joined the webinar and some people who read more as a hobby. But tarot and oracle are concrete ways to communicate with your spiritual counsel in a way that feels a little bit more concrete because it has a tangible item you can hold in your hand. There's a picture, there's sometimes a guidebook until you know how to read them intuitively. When I first realized that something bigger than myself was trying to communicate to me, it was actually through tarot. It wasn't until much later on that I started to actually feel the presence of source, of my guides, of my angels. And it wasn't until further after that I actually began to hear their voices. And so, yes, I am a tarot reader and I absolutely love doing readings for people. And in fact, at the very end of this webinar, I am going to share a really sweet deal with you. So if you stick with me, you got something good coming your way. And I'm a huge advocate, though, that women start to read for themselves. And if you've never read a card for yourself, the power is really in the question that you ask. So some ways that you can, or some questions that you can use to kind of jumpstart this practice are, what do you want me to know today? And you can insert your guide's name. So I could say, Joseph, what do you want me to know today? How do I keep my vibration high despite not feeling like my best self right now? Are there words of wisdom that I can use today to keep me anchored in my faith? And for questions like this, and these will be coming to you tomorrow as well if you're trying to write them all out. For questions like, are there words of wisdom? I love to use decks like Louise Hayes's Power Thoughts, or Gabrielle Bernstein's The Universe Has Your Back cards, which are derived from her book of the same name. I love to ask my guides, what growth can I be proud of today? Or what should I keep doing? And so this is especially important when we're struggling, when we feel like the journey is actually getting harder rather than easier. So you give yourself a moment to celebrate how far you've come and what you're getting right. And the magic there is that the more we focus on what we're getting right, the more what needs to fall away will kind of fall away on its own, as opposed to us trying to force it out the door. And then one of the questions that I ask almost on a daily basis is, what needs to take priority today? And I love this question when I know that I'm not feeling very grounded and need some assistance in making priorities. And this is going to be especially important over the next couple of months because right now we're in watery Cancer season. Next month, we're going to be in really fiery Leo season. And to top it all off, to make it all interesting and fun, we have Mercury retrograde coming at us. So that question, what needs to take priority today, is going to be a beautiful way to stay grounded, to stay focused, and to continue working your path. So like I said, if reading cards for yourself doesn't appeal to you, I do have a new reading I'm launching tonight called Hearing Spirit Speak. And this is a 10-card reading that is really powerful and soulful, and it's the most wonderful way to connect with your guides that I've found so far. So in this reading, you actually learn everything from your history, so any past lives that you might have with your guides, angels, or teachers, the signs that they're going to use to communicate with you, the unique ways that they want you to nurture their relationship with you, how they are showing up, and the question that we all want to know, what exactly are they doing? Because sometimes we know they're there, but we're like, why aren't you helping more? And so this reading gives you a little insight into what magic they might be working behind the scenes. So for the next 48 hours, and only for those who joined using the webinar link, I have a very special offer for this specific reading. You can book this reading for only $55, and it's going to be going up to $70 this Thursday. So that's a $15 savings. That's a good chunk of change that you'll be hanging on to by booking early. And so every reading I do comes with a PDF that helps you organize those notes. And it comes with a recording of your reading so that you can refer back to it when you need to. But this specific reading has a very special and private webinar at the end of July to help bring you back to everything you learned in your reading, as well as how to take that reading just another step forward. So to book this reading, you can use the link that I'm going to post over in the comments. It will also come to you in that email alongside with your guided meditation tomorrow. So give me a second. I'm going to post that booking link. And the good news is that I now have time. Oh, the booking link is not there. Oh, yes, it is. Sorry, guys. It was all organized over in my chat box. Think on your feet, right? There you go. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this webinar, and I really appreciate you sticking with me and hanging out despite those little technical difficulties. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and drop them in the comments real quick, and I will answer them. Or if you have anything that you need clarified or want repeated. Now, the replay is going to be available so you can catch what you might have missed if you popped on a little early. But not seeing any questions. So thank you again. And thank you for sharing your evening with me. As always, I just feel really blessed to be able to share my path with you and to witness yours. I hope you have a beautiful evening, and please don't hesitate to reach out through email or over in Sisterhood of Stars on Facebook, which most of you are members of. So much love and light to you all, and good night.